Hello everyone, this is Pikachu OTC from Simple Trade, and in this video I'll be reviewing 5 stocks from the recent week, starting off GDET. Now looking at the chart, we can see that the stock had pretty nice runs over time. The first one was from the low trips to the high 40s, giving us around 1100%. The second run was around 0013 and went up all the way up to the mid 40s, giving us 240%, and the last run, which I will be reviewing today, gave us 250%. Now, I already explained about the huge volume, the 2 billion plus volume that occurred on the June 30th on the last video, but let's review it really quickly. So we go to the OTC Markets, to the news section, and we can see here that after a full year of complete silence, there is a new press release from the company GDET that says they are launching a dual crypto dream card. So finally we can see progress from their business, and that's what caused the huge volume and the huge breakout with this insane gap on the June 30th. Now, how can we identify the potential of this breakout and get in before it happens? So we go to the Twitter account of the CEO of the company, Lawrence Adams, and we can see that on May 10th, about 2 months before the breakout, he tweeted that they're being quiet on the company, they are working with the OTC markets to get proper filing completed, and on the last, he says GDET will have a new look and will be all in on crypto. So right here, a month and a half, approximately 2 months before the breakout itself, we get a hint from the CEO himself that says that crypto all in, something is coming up. So we go to the chart, we go around May 10th, and we can see that the stock price went up a little bit and then went down to its original support, 0015, and held that support for a few days. So even if you got in here on the 0015, you would still make a beautiful 180%. Now, before I'm moving on to the next stock, I'll talk about one last thing that occurred before the breakout itself. If we go to the Twitter account, we can see that the company GDET opened a new account on June 24th, and they said that they will be updating their shareholders under this account. 1 day later, we can see, coming soon, GDET, with a video of someone throwing some sort of a card. And what do you know, 5 days later, on the June 30th, we can see the first official press release after a full year of the launch of the Crypto Dream Card. So let's say you missed everything we talked about in this video, but all you saw was this tweet. Coming soon, GDET. One last time, we go back to the chart to June 25th, and we can see that no matter what price we would enter the stock, we could still make almost 100%. Moving on to the next stock, we're gonna talk about the company IDGC. Now, we look at the chart just like before, and I marked the support level of the stock on the 0009 and the 0008. From the chart alone, we can see that the stock has hard time maintaining its heights. We can see right here a lot of volume came in, and the stock price went up to 0017 and went back down to 0013. We can see it again over here, a lot of volume came in. The stock did not maintain its heights. But there was massive loading going on these areas for the past 2 weeks. Now you might ask, how can I spot these loading zones? Well, you learned that on the OTC Oracle course. Lastly, we can see 3 straight green high volume days that the stock closed at its highs around 0015. So, unlike before, where it could not maintain the heights, this time it did. So what happened? The answer is really simple. Twitter. Let's go to the Twitter account of the company, and we can see from February 19th, the company opened a new Twitter account and they updated the shareholders that they are working of becoming pink current. Now we can see that the company updated the shareholders every few months, but the tweet that I'm going to talk about today is this bomb. Check this out. Attention, IDGC shareholders management is currently in the process of canceling 5 billion common shares. Look for an announcement on this matter very shortly. Now this is very, very good news. Okay, and we scroll up a little bit And we see another, bam, on the same day, June 30th. Looking forward to working with executive industries to dramatically increase market valuation of IDGC. Let's scroll more up, and we can see, one day later, attention IDGC shareholders. Again, the cancellation of 5 billion common shares, only this time they are saying the management is getting very close, and they added congrats shareholders. So it looks like they actually care about the shareholders. Let's scroll up a little bit more. On the same day, check this out. Attention shareholders, management is pleased to announce there will be no dilution to the current shareholders, and there will be absolutely no reverse splits, which is fantastic news for us. And lastly, we can see one day later another tweet that reassuring there will be no reverse split and that they actually care about the shareholders. And on the same day, they are letting us know that they filed the OTC market and they already paid everything needed to be paid, and pink sheet current status coming very shortly. So this is what caused this huge volume over the past 3 days, and this is probably why the stock actually held its heights on the 0015. Looks like there is some more things to come, but time will tell. Okay, moving on to the next stock, we're gonna talk about the company FDFT. So I'll be talking about two things. The first will be these two huge volume candles right here around mid-April. And the second thing I'll talk about will be the recent event and the recent changes around this area a couple of days ago. Now, what happened here on these 2 days was what probably was pure pump and dump. From what I've heard and what I read, there was some group of people from iHub starting a rumor that there will be a reverse merger with some other company because their address and their phone number and their website was identical to another company. So that's what probably happened around these 2 days, and that's what caused this huge volume around mid-April. Now let's talk about the recent events and the recent changes for the stock a couple of days ago. So what happened was the company actually updated its OTC Markets profile. We can see right here that they updated a new officer, and they changed their phone number, changed their website address, and they changed their address. So that's basically can assure that the pump and dump about this reverse merger back then was probably false alert. Now, why should we care about these changes? Well, that's very simple. Let's go to the disclosure part right here from the OTC market, and we can see that the company did not file any financial reports for over 4 years. Let's go to the news section, and we can also see that there was no news over 4 years. So basically, the company was pretty much dead. There was complete silence and no update, nothing until these changes. So these changes might indicate that there will be some more updates along the way, but only time will tell. Now let's go and move on to the next stock. So the next stock will be WSRC. And before I'm going to talk about the stock, let's take a second and just look at this beautiful, beautiful chart. This stock could have made us well over 1,600% from our initial investment, which is absolutely ridiculous. You can't see this kind of percentage anywhere else. More to that, you can see that there was one day where you could have made 800%. Now, before I'll explain what happened here, let's take a look backwards and see how volatile is this stock. We can see it goes up 50% almost every couple of days, and the reason for that is the float. The float is literally amazing. Just look at it. 120 million shares for the public float. This means that just a little bit more volume every day and the stock could explode. It can go up and down easily. And lastly, we can see that there is a huge volume here on the 22nd to June. And you already know from previous videos and previous reviews what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to go to the OTC markets, going to the news section, and see what happened on June 22nd. And here we can see that the company enters talks to acquire majority stakes in a gold operation with enhanced recovery net income projected at $3.2 billion. I'll say it again because this is absolutely enormous. Net income projected at $3.2 billion. And this is exactly the reason for this huge breakout, this huge eruption, this huge explosion that got us somewhere over 1,600%. Now let's move on to the final stock for this review, which is TXTM. On this stock, I'll talk about three things. First is the volume right here. Second is this second volume right here. And the third is the current situation on the last 3 to 4 days. So what happened here? It really doesn't matter. What I do want to show you is that on 1.1 billion volume on one day, the stock price went up from 0021 all the way up to 0056 and even continued its run a day after to 0080. 2 months later, we can see even higher volume, almost 1.4 billion volume. But the stock price went up from 0017 only to 0027. So what happened? The answer is dilution. The company diluted the stock for 2 months and even after that for 3 more months up for today. How can I tell that? Well, that is one of the things that Pennywales teaches in his course. Lastly, let's see the recent event on the past 4 days. So we go to the Twitter account of the company and we can see here on June 22nd that the company actually gave us a time frame for the filing to be filed. We can see here that they are expected filing OTC Markets before the end of this month. And what do you know, 7 days later, bam, reinstatement. And 1 day after, when we go to the OTC Markets on the disclosure section, bam, filings just like they said they would. Now you're probably asking yourself, yo, where is the breakout? I mean, there was reinstatement, there was filings. These are great news. So where is the breakout? Unfortunately, there was not enough volume over these 4 days. As we can see here, there was 1.4 billion on 1 day that got the stock price to go from 0017 only to 0027. So if we have here only 500 million volume, it makes sense that the stock only went up from 0017 to 0023. Thank you guys for tuning in, and if you want to see more reviews like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join our Discord community.